Down-to-Earth podcast presented by Bricks and Blocks Coaching. Tune in as we dive into the real-life experiences of parents, from the joys to the challenges they face while building beautiful memories with their children. If you like our concept of sharing real-life experiences, please follow and subscribe to our show. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and share our content with other parents. I'm Shweta. I'm here with two dads today, Nishant and Bruce. They are dads to toddlers, less than 18-month-old babies, and they are here to share their experiences as to what a dad has to do in a toddler's life. Hi Nishant, hi Bruce.
Yeah. Hello, hi Shweta. Good day.
Hello,
Hi Bruce.
Shweta. Thanks for having us. Hello, Nishant.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself as a parent to our audience, Nishant?
For sure. So, hi guys, I'm Nishant. I'm a parent to a 19-month-old little boy, quite an energetic, boisterous boy, I must say. And I currently work for HP in Singapore. And that's a little quick introduction about me. Yeah, we are two working parents with a little baby in our house. Yeah.
Hey Bruce.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Bruce. I got a 18 months old daughter, and me and my wife are both from Korea. We've been living in Singapore for the last 11 years. And yeah, our lovely daughter has been a new life, has been providing a great experience and creating a new life for us.
Wow.
And
both of you seem to be proud dads, right? And seem to be enjoying the parenthood.
Yes, for now, yes. I must admit it was a bumpy road. Yeah.
So, for me, it's like usually moms have a lot to do in the early stages of a child, right? With all the feeding and holding the baby, trying to understand what the baby cries mean and just getting everything done in the household, the whole logistics of managing the support system you have.
Yeah.
So I sometimes hear this feedback that dads get lost in this whole milieu of what's happening around a baby's world, right? So do you think that dads have a role to play in the early stages of a baby?
I would say definitely yes, while majority of the support system would come from a mother. But typically when it comes to me, I usually try to get into the shoes of the person who is doing the core job and try to understand on how difficult it is and then try and see on how can I shoulder their responsibilities to make their life fairly easier. So for me, before the child comes into my life or once the child is in my life, my priority is my partner, right? So because the child is a newborn child, so my love for him develops over a period of time. It's not that he's here and I start loving him, right? But I definitely love my wife the most. So when I see her struggling, when I see her waking up in the nights, when I see her holding the baby, let's say doing errands, so I try and figure out ways on where I can use my physical strength to shoulder some of her responsibilities, where I can sacrifice a bit of my sleep in the night so that she pumps milk before she goes off to bed, and I wake up in the night and I feed my baby so that at least she has a good night rest, or we do alternate nights. So I think key is to find the right balance, which makes it easier for your partner rather than just making it a gender-based sort of a role, right? So I think parenting is a 50-50 responsibility, right?
Yeah, that's a very understanding partner support, right? Like it's more on the partner and what she needs.
Yeah, because I look at every aspect of life with an exit, right? I mean, what's next? What's the long-term goal? The long-term goal is not to stay with the baby. After 18, the baby has to go out. So who's going to stay with me? It's my wife. So it's extremely important to ensure that I am there for my wife is there for me, because the baby has to go out someday. Today, I don't go back to my parents on a daily basis, right? It's just my parents staying with each other. So I've always seen this in my life, where my dad used to step in, he used to be there with my mom, and now today they are living a happy life. I have not been there at home for the last 15 years. So while 18 years are important to have a strong backbone for him, but what is also important is what's my exit option post 18 years. So I look at things in a fairly different way. So
wow, that's a very interesting perspective. Bruce, your thoughts?
Yeah. Thanks, Nishant, for sharing your thoughts. I agree a lot to your points. At the early stage when my baby was a bit like when she was really young, like 6 months to maybe up to like 10 months, there was a lot of things that I could help a lot. Like I can even make her sleep, I can feed her, I can change the diapers. But I realized that after a certain point, like 12 months and beyond, she's been very attached to the mom, to my wife. And it seems like the bonding is so high that she didn't want me to like feed her, or even the baby didn't want me to sleep her. So that gave me a bit less role that I can play. So I had to figure out how can I help in this family and still have that kind of bonding with my daughter. I think first thing that I did is that, to Dishant's point, is try to see where are those moments that at least I can give my wife a bit of break. So it's more like those kind of play times. So I try to, at least when my baby wakes up, I try to read her a book. In the afternoon, I try to play with her with some Lego blocks. But those moments, when my daughter is still looking for the mom most of the time, I know that that's a period of that kind of growth period. And after that growth period, there will be a time that she understands that she's not going to be only looking for a mom. And I want to make sure that even though those times that she's looking for a mom, I'm always there, and I'm always there for my daughter, that she knows that I'm open to play with her and always go out with her. I think one of the things that I do is that every day from 6 to 7, I take my girl outside for a walk. I realize that even I take her out alone sometimes, she'll look for her mom. So nowadays, yeah, we try to get all three of us outside. I think the other parts that I do play is that it's more like doing a planner kind of role, like planning those kind of events. Might be going to a cafe, or even places where my daughter and my wife will enjoy together. So trying to plan those places and taking them out. I think those are the roles that I play.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, like, you tell your family that I'm there for you when you need me. So that's the support that you're playing out there. So Bruce, how does it feel emotionally? There was this statement that you said, at this stage, my daughter needs more of my wife than me. So then how do you feel as a dad?
I think that's an interesting question, because when my daughter only looks for the mom, it's fine. But now we also have a helper at home. So it's either my wife or the helper, which is my daughter, is looking for. And when I try to come in, she'll try to push my face. I understand, but yeah, it feels like sometimes I feel like, yeah, is this, did I do anything wrong? How can I be closer with my daughter? But yeah, my wife have done some research, and it seems like it's kind of period where they're very attached to the mom. And maybe because my helper is always there feeding her, changing diaper next to my wife, I think that's why my daughter builds a bit stronger bonding with my wife and the helper rather than to me. It doesn't feel that great, but I still understand. And even though she pushes me away, I try to always be next to her and try to see, like, I try to at least observe and know that I'm fine, and I'm always there when she's in that mood to play with me.
Yeah. Nishant, what are your routines? You also go for a daily job, right? So you have your days pretty much tied to the work. So then how do you build these routines with your son?
So the way we plan it out is, I mean, definitely mornings are something which I'm not really a big fan of. So I usually wake up in the morning, I start planning my day and what I need to do and get on to work immediately. I think that's the part of the day when my wife steps in. She's usually managing the baby with the help now through the day. But as and when the day ends by around, let's say 6:30, like Bruce mentioned, I ensure I take my baby out to the pool. I take him out for a walk. I ensure that I don't take the stroller. I ensure I don't take a carrier, so that I have more of that physical connect with him, where I'm able to hold him, I'm able to tickle him, I'm able to have some sort of a physical contact with him. Post taking him out for a walk, I feed him in the evening. Ensure I'm the only one who is giving him a bath, not the helper. But let's say even the evening bath, as far as schedule is concerned, so I manage that alternate days, either me or my wife put him to sleep, right? So that he is not solely dependent on either of us or does not get solely attached to either of us. And once he sleeps, that's when my schedule begins. So I take out 45 minutes to 1 hour. I go for a run, come back, get my dinner, watch something with my wife, and then go off to bed by 11:30 or 12, right?
At any point, I do understand there is this bonding that you're making, and that, you are part of his life. But that also means that you're missing out on the social life and maybe work life, right? So how does that make you feel?
As far as social life is concerned, see, again, as I told you, right, I always look at things 20 years, post 20 years, right? Will I be with the same set of office folks after 20 years?
Maybe not.
The answer is no.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is, the degree of engagement that I would have with them would not be the same. So who would I be after 20 years? I don't know whether my parents would be there for the next 20 years. I hope they are. But let's say if they are not, beside my parents, it's just my wife and my boy. So who should I be prioritizing? Simple. Of course, but to survive these 20 years, money is important, work is important. So the 9 to 6 or 8 to 6 is definitely dedicated to work. But that 6 to 10 p.m. slot, whichever friend calls up, whoever gets married, boss, I have a baby at home, he's small, he needs me, period. No going out. So I haven't socialized. And I don't really miss it. Initially, I would sometimes get a bit riled up with my wife, like, why can't we just go out for a dinner? Let's get some sushi. But everything used to be a takeaway. But over a period of time, I realized the bonding that I had with the baby was exceptional right now. For him, mother and father are the same.
Bruce, how do you find this work-life balance, right? So you want that bonding to happen with your daughter while also ensuring you are part of the work events, work meetings. So how do you balance this out?
I work 100% from home, so I don't go to the office. So mainly working from home. So I think that at least give me during the daytime, I have a lot of time to spend with my daughter.
Wow.
And my wife.
Lucky guy.
One other lucky thing is that my daughter goes to bed pretty early. So most of the times before 8 p.m., she's already at bed. And as I shared, I'm not that good in making my daughter fall asleep. So maybe Nishant, I respect you on that, how you're taking that kind of responsibilities with your wife and making sure that you're taking turns. I think for me, that didn't happen. So normally from 7 p.m. and onwards, I'm not really required at home. So if I want to meet friends or any colleagues, I can actually meet them after 7 p.m. So, but I don't go out often, but yeah, when I do, I still have time to go out, and I can still manageable because it's not my baby. I'm pretty lucky that my baby goes a bit early to bed.
Yeah.
But you should try until you succeed. I tell you, the baby would always want the mother first, right? But once you start putting in the efforts for 2 to 3 days consistently, the baby will somehow sense, okay, this person is trying. I think babies are the most intelligent set of species. They understand everything. So if you go with a mindset in your mind that, oh, she's not going to sleep with me, she will only be put to bed by her mom, the baby senses it. And the baby will make it a very hard situation for you. But you tried for 3 days, 4 days. Trust me, the baby will realize this person is putting in an effort. Let me just make it easier for him. And the baby will go off to sleep. And then you see on an alternate days, the baby wouldn't really mind, to be honest.
Let me try. Yeah, I think.
Should.
Yeah, we were talking on another podcast on how do we travel together with babies. I think one of the kind of things that we struggle is also sleeping the baby during traveling.
Yeah.
So if we take turns, that will make it much easier. And maybe I should, just for that travel, I should start practicing. So thanks for the advice.
You practice it, you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, take your baby out to a cold storage and try and make her sleep there. I'm telling you, fear is the worst, right? You get the fear out of your system, travel will never be a problem for you. Then you'll be confident because you're Bruce the boss. Baby's not the boss, you're the boss, right? So you got the baby doesn't have you, right? So just go in with all your confidence and it will be a win for sure.
Yeah, this has been
Yeah,
a,
great
this has
advice.
been a wonderful conversation between dads, right? So we are reaching the end of our podcast. So any kind of parting thoughts for our listeners as to what they should be thinking about, doing about as dads of toddlers? Bruce.
I think, yeah, I saw this one. Someone was talking about it, but like I think the mentality nowadays is that it's not around helping your wife to take care of the baby. It's more around doing it together.
Yeah.
So try to find as much as things that we can not help to do together is maybe the right mindset. Yeah, I'll try to take advice from Nishant and try to see how we can make the baby sleep together by taking turns. So that's great advice I'll take away.
Nishant, any parting
I,
thoughts?
I echo Bruce's thoughts, right? I mean, it's about a partnership. It's about, as a team, you and your wife, how do you try and deliver the best for your baby and for a longer term outcome as well. And at the same point of time, super important, at least personally to me, I think, on prioritizing your life, on who's really going to matter after 20 years. And once you start answering the big 20 years hence questions, your daily operation becomes fairly simple. Your priorities become fairly simple. You can dabble around very easily because the answer at the end of 20 years on what it's going to be. Just live and try and be as hands-on as possible. The more hands-on you get, the more the fear will be out of your system, and the better you will be in control of the situation, or at least you can try to or pretend to be in control of the situation. All the babies usually at the end always throws a curveball, but it's okay. You have a few wins and a few misses as well. So yeah.
That's a nice end to our podcast. Thank you so much, Bruce and Nishant.
Right, thank you.
It's been wonderful talking to you and understanding the dad's perspective in a toddler's life. See you guys next time.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you like our concept of sharing real life experiences, please follow and subscribe to our show. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and share our content with other parents.